welcome to part 4 of the shop edition. We are going to work on sanding and then we're going to do our texture coat downstairs underneath the gym. So right now we are going to do a light sand to help blend the tape joint into the drywall. And we're also going to take off any big edges. And we also bought this special sander tool off Amazon. It's got this crazy spinning disc on it and a vacuum, this cool LED light. So this is only like $120. This is our, you can see it's got like a little backpack here. Seth is gonna let it rip, we're gonna try it out. I'm going to use this block sander down low and in some tight areas while Seth is using our new electric one. I'm going to throw you guys up on a time lapse. We're going to hurry knock this out and get some texture done tonight. We just got done sanding underneath the gym. Now this is a really messy process. We used the leaf blower to blow off the walls and then we swept up the mess. Now we're going to mix up some more mud, do our texture coat, and then unfortunately after that dries we're going to have to sand it all again and clean it all again before paint. But that's just part of the process. Everything turned out really good down here. That orbital sander was very helpful at the beginning for these big areas, but we still had to go through with the block up in these corners and do some fine touching with that, but it all worked out really well. We got the first wall done. Seth was on the right side, I was on the left side, and you can kind of see that we have a different pattern. And we are both always learning when we do this texture. Seth's really helping me figure this out. Now, Seth brought up a pretty cool point that everyone has their own unique way that they do texture. So we are trying to match the existing stuff here. I think this is close enough. We're gonna keep moving on and hurry and knock this all out. I got this whole side done. It's going pretty fast too. We're gonna move on to the ceiling. The ceiling has a different texture. We're gonna be using a hawk for this and we're gonna spin it around. We'll show you guys that here in a minute. And then in the dog kennel, and underneath the stairs, it's also going to have the same ceiling texture. Okay, we just mixed up another batch of mud. Set this back up on his stilts, and he's going to show us what to do for the ceiling texture.
All right, so we're going to use this tool called the hawk, and then we're going to use this smooth trowel. So we're going to put like an even coat of mud like this on it. And you're going to take this, and you're going to pull against it, and it creates a pattern right there. So you take it over, you stick it, pull straight down, then you spin it 90 degrees. And we're gonna do that over and overlapping the old texture a little bit so we can tie it all in. We'll do this kind of down a ways and then we'll do a knockdown coming back that'll take off these little edges and it'll tie it back into this old texture.
And we're gonna use this. This is a new tool that we just got. It's like a squeegee and this is supposed to be really good for knocking it down. So we'll let this set up for just a minute and then we'll come back through with the squeegee and pull it, and this is gonna end up looking like this.
All right, so it's set up just a little bit now. You don't wanna wait too long, otherwise it'll kind of clot up. So we're gonna knock it down now, and you wanna put it into an old container. You're not gonna wanna use this mud again. It'll clot up and it won't ever turn out right if you try and use it again.
Look at that, that is perfect. That looks great. How was the squeegee?
It's awesome. Works really good. It doesn't leave any lines like sometimes you get with the bigger metal ones. It's got those soft edges so you don't get any lines when you go over it.
Nice. And that just helped blend it into that existing ceiling, and we're going to be using the same exterior paint that the rest of this has, so it'll just blend in perfect. All right, Seth is gonna finish up this texture on the ceiling in here. That way it all matches. He's really good at doing the ceiling texture. And then when we move into the dog kennel, I'm gonna give it a shot. I haven't tried it before, and I'm gonna wait until we're in the dog kennel. That way, if it doesn't turn out perfect, it won't be as noticeable. This is all turning out really good, and I am really excited to get this painted and get the shop cleaned up. All right, this is a little area in the dog kennel that I did. It turned out okay. I got some more practice to get in. What do you think, Roxy? Does it look good enough for your kennel? So we are gonna start cleaning up our tools. It's quite a process to clean these up. You wanna clean them every time that you use them. So we'll go through and we'll use hot water, warm water, with a bucket and we'll rinse it all off. And if this stuff dries up, it gets crispy, it's a lot harder to clean and then it'll get into the mud the next day when you're using it. So we try to be really good about cleaning everything and it makes everything else a lot simpler. I'm really excited for today because we are finally going to start painting. So the texture coat is done in the gym and underneath the gym. All that is left is a light coat of sanding. That's not going to take very long, and once that's finished up, I can clean up all the dust and then we can set up the paint gun and get ready for paint. Once the paint is fully cured, I also picked up some rubber baseboard. We can install a rubber baseboard all the way around here, and then we can finally start taking all of the stuff that I've moved out into the shop back into the storage room and start cleaning everything up and getting ready for the next phase. The more I thought about it, the more I decided that it'd probably be easier just to roll the paint on in these two areas. It's quite a process setting up the paint gun and cleaning it. So my wife Cheyenne is going to help me. We are going to use some of this paint right here. This is an interior or exterior paint. So we're going to crack it open and then we're going to use this little mixer. We'll put it in the tray and then we have a little bucket for the brush and then obviously the tray for the roller. So we're going to get started on this right now. I think we can both knock it out pretty quick. The second coat is now done, and it looks like we're going to need a third coat. With this new drywall, there's a few spots that need to be touched up again. So while this is drying for the next hour or two, we're going to jump downstairs and get the first coat done. So far so good. It's turning out really well and it's blending in with the existing really good too. So pretty happy with it so far. There's a lot more surface area underneath the gym, and since we're going to have to do 3 coats, I think it'll be worth it to set up my paint gun. So we're gonna take a minute, tape some stuff off, get this paint gun set up, and then we can put a coat down in like 5 minutes. It is now the next day and everything is painted. I had a little bit of a struggle with the paint gun last night. It wasn't spraying correctly and it turned into this whole thing. This morning, my goal is to get some of this baseboard down and also to get some of this stuff from the shop back in the storage room. The first section of baseboard is on. I don't have this far in glued yet because I'm gonna have a piece of trim that goes right there. But this is my first time doing this rubber baseboard and I think it turned out pretty well. I watched a few videos on it before I tried it. This corner right here, I got a couple pieces of wood holding it tight while the glue sets up a little bit. Now I'm gonna hurry and knock out this little area here and then this nice big straight piece right here. So it should be pretty quick and then I can finally start moving some stuff in. The storage room and the gym are now put back together. We got a lot of stuff cleaned up and able to be used again. So now I got a couple hours left today to work. I'm gonna jump out here and start framing up this wall right here. Because this wall is so big, I'm not gonna be able to build it on the ground and stand it up. So I'm gonna build it in place. I've got my bottom plate here. I'm gonna copy that onto my top plate. And then I use my pocket hole jig to drill some holes into the bottom of these so I can secure it in really well. And for some reason there's blocking in this wall already. It's gonna work out really good to secure it there. I might have to add some blocking in between the trusses up on the ceiling, but I wanna build it and get it in place before I decide that. I'm in a pretty big hurry right now. I got like 15 minutes to get this threshold cut out and sheetrock this. So I'm just gonna throw you guys up on a time lapse, hurry and knock it out, and then we're gonna be done for the night. I ended up getting that finished. I'm done for the night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. The border is all the way around for the drop ceiling in my office. So now that that is done, I have built one of these little, it's pretty much like a short wall. I did it on 24 spacing. This is kind of a test run, so I didn't film much of this, but the idea is to hang that from the ceiling, from the trusses, and then we will be able to secure the drywall to this. And these long runs where there's not a truss, I'm hoping that each end of these shorter runs that are secured to the trusses, I'm hoping it can span that far. If not, I'll put some blocking in the ceiling or maybe some toggle bolts. So I'm gonna stand this one up real quick. All right, that was a little bit of a pain to get up, but it holds my body weight. It's pretty secure, so I'm really hoping it's gonna support this other one. Next up, I'm gonna do this short one along here, and then I'm gonna do this long one. But before I do this long one, I'm gonna have to turn off my water, cut into this PEX line that's on the ceiling, put some valves in, and then once I put the valves in, I can turn them off, turn my water back on, and then I'll reroute this plumbing through this drop ceiling. So it's turning out really good so far. Let's get this other wall built real quick. The drop is built all the way around. It turned out really good. This angled piece right here was a little more difficult, but it'll be covered up by drywall, so all the little imperfections of the wood won't be shown. I have the rest of the water tied through here, so we put some T's in. That goes into the new stuff down in the shop, like that hydrant right there. I've got that running now. And then I got some valves in right here. I'm going to install a switched outlet right here, and there will be an access panel right here for this outlet and for these valves. That outlet is going to control the color changing LEDs that are going to go around in this soffit. And those LEDs will be installed in this channel here. So this channel goes in, there'll be two pieces of drywall on the face. This channel will go in between them, and then the LED strip will go in here, and then a diffuser will cover the LED strip. So this channel will get mounted somewhere around here, and it'll be completely flush with the drywall and mud and tape. You won't even see it. And then the strip will be in this channel behind the diffuser, kind of glowing up this little drop area. All right, all the wiring for the cans is now done. I have one more wire that's gonna go from this J-box over here up into the attic and drop in right here in the center of the ceiling. That's gonna be for a fan. So because I have two switches there, one switch will control the fan, one switch will control the strip lights and the can lights at the same time. So I'm gonna just stub that up into the attic for now because I don't have the correct box to secure the fan. And then I will climb up in the attic later, and when I'm tying in the rest of the stuff, I will stub the wire down for the fan. But right now I'm gonna go through and finish up all the drywall that I can and start putting some of this channel in. I have my laser set up right here, and I'm putting that channel in and getting the channel perfectly level. I'm cutting 3 1/4 inch strips that I'm installing here. That way I have a little bit of wiggle room. I want this strip to be perfectly level. And now I'm gonna hurry and install this 8x8 access panel right here so I can access my valves and my receptacle. So this is, it has a spring in it and some little flappers. So I'm gonna cut my hole here. This is gonna get installed here. And then when I paint this room, I will paint this at the same time so it just matches perfectly. So as I'm installing this drywall, I'm just putting in the screws on the top and bottom. And then as I'm installing this track, it is securing the top part of this drywall. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a lip here. And then once I put my corner bead on here, we'll basically fill this whole area up with mud. And I left this channel a little bit oversized, so I had some adjustment to get this perfectly level. But all I have left is this area here and here. And then I am done. So I'm gonna hurry and wrap this up. Probably won't show much of the mud and tape since I've already done so much of it, but a couple highlights. And then you can also see my access panel here. That's gonna be the switched outlet that will control the LED strip lights that's in the channel. And then I also have my hot and cold water valves. Now that is gonna be for all the water that goes out into the shop. So for some reason the shop isn't gonna be heated, I can turn the valves off here, and then I don't have to worry about any pipes exploding in the shop. All right, I got all of the outside corner installed. This room turned out really well, and I'm really excited to get this room finished. Also, all of the doors and windows are gonna get delivered tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. We can get these windows installed, and since the gym is now finished, we can put the door in on the gym and the window in the gym and keep that area clean. But I am done for the night. I am gonna clean up my mess, and I will pick you guys back up tomorrow. I just got home from work and saw all this stuff here, so I'm really excited that this stuff finally showed up. We got the 2 windows here. We got the exterior fire rated door going into the laundry room from the shop. And then we have all the interior doors behind that. So I'm gonna start with the gym. So I'm gonna do this 4-foot wide window, and then also one of these 36-inch wide interior doors for the gym. Because it's all finished and painted, we are gonna kind of separate that area, get the door in, get the window in, and then when we are sanding and painting the rest of this area, we aren't gonna get the gym dirty. So we're gonna start with that. First step in getting this gym window installed is going to be cutting this back 1 3/4 inches. I left this long because I didn't know the depth of the window flange. Now I do. I'll set my laser up here and across here, cut this out with my multi-tool, and then we'll grab the scissor lift, we'll come along here, and we will put the window in from the shop side. This is now cut out, 1 3/4 inches back from here. Flange will sit on this drywall. Let's go jump in the scissor lift and get this installed. I got a couple screws through here. I put one in every other hole, and then on the inside, I'm gonna do some caulk where this meets the drywall. In this gap here, I'll do some caulk or some silicone. That'll clean that up. But this turned out really well. I'm really glad we put a window out in the shop here. And then I will also be installing that other one in my office right there. I'm going to be trying out the quick door hangers for this. So that's basically these little brackets here that you install on the side of the door. So you put 3 screws in here and then 1 into the face, and then you leave these on and you just trim over them. So you don't need to use any shims. These should hold the door well. I'm going to start off by drawing a straight line down the wall. That way I can reference these to that. And hopefully this is as easy as they make it seem. Well, this did give me a great start, but I still think I'm going to go through and shim it because there's nothing securing on this side. So I mean, this whole thing is a little bit floppy, and I'm sure when I put the trim on, it would hold it better. But just to be safe, I'm going to go through, put a couple shims in, make sure this is perfect. But it did help me get it set by myself. That was really easy, and it should just take a second to shim it. So I like it. All right, first door is done. Now I did add quite a few shims on this other side. Since there's nothing holding it, it was kind of flopping around. But all I did was put shims in and then use a brad nailer to tack those in. A couple on each side. Now, if I do more doors, I'll probably buy those just because it's so easy to hang it by myself. But I'm gonna put shims on every door. It really makes it a lot more solid. I'm happy with the reveal on this. I'm gonna put some spray foam in this crack here. And that way, when I am sanding and doing all the tape and everything out here, no dust is gonna get into the gym. I also ordered a little weather strip that I can put on the bottom of this door. And since this area is done, I wanna try to keep it clean. I'm really happy with how this door and window turned out in the gym. I really like having this so you can see into the shop and let a little bit of that natural lighting in from this window here. And then if the shop heater's on and it's cold up here, we can always open this window up and let the shop heater warm it up. So pretty excited about this. It's cool to see it come together and starting to add the doors, and obviously there's still a lot more to go, but the HDMI cable that's going to go from my TV to my computer is now here. I'm going to pull this drywall off here and also this drywall off here into my closet. I'm going to run a Cat 6 cable for my computer to the Starlink in here and hardwire it. I didn't think about this until just now, so I'm gonna go back, take this drywall off. It should be easy because there's no mud and tape yet. I'm gonna cut in some boxes here, just some low voltage ones. But before that, I got the door handle for the gym. Since we were trying to keep this area clean, I'm gonna get this installed and then we can shut it and keep it closed. Should be pretty simple. This is more of a modern style handle. Eventually we will swap out all of the door handles to this. First step is to slide this into the door. Grab one side of the handle. Slide it through there. Slide our other side through. We're going to take these 2 screws and tie these 2 door handles together in this hole and this hole. We're going to take this plate and screw it into the jamb here. And just like that, we are done. Easy as that. I will have to remove this plate and the handle when I get to painting, but it's super easy to remove these, so I'm not too worried about that. I just got the window installed in my office. Now I'm going to install this exterior door going into the laundry room. That is going to separate the living from the shop again. And I think I've decided I'm gonna hire out the rest of this mud and tape. It's taken me a really long time to finish it, and I still have a lot of other stuff to do. So I'm gonna put those door mounting brackets on here, get this area cleaned up, and get ready to set this door. Now between the window and this door, we are fully sealed off. I got some spray foam around these gaps until I get the trim on. Door handle is installed. Pretty happy with how this all turned out.